What's going on, everybody? Welcome. And this is part two of my story on my trip to DC. All right. Part two is now I'm in DC. I'm there for the weekend. I'm having a good time, spending time with family, spending time with mother and stuff, and had a good time. Right? Had a good time, spending time with my mother. And we were hanging out. Me and my mother, we hung out for the whole weekend. Went out to eat, went out to dinner and stuff, and we decided to go to the movies, right? And we wanted to actually. My mother was really interested in this movie because my mother thinks like very much like I do. I come from a very mentally astute family, so this is not surprising to me. She wanted to see the Blackkklansman, the new Spike Lee movie, Blackkklansman. For those who don't know, the Blackkklansman is based on a true story about a black Colorado detective who infiltrated the infamous white supremacist group, the Ku Klux Klan, right? And he did this like over the phone and kind of manipulated his way his way into the affection and with some tactics, he helped infiltrate the group. So and the movie was very powerful, very symbolic. Had a lot of messages in there that if you understood, if you know, that kind of thing. My mother was really amped on seeing this movie. It was either between the Blackkklansman or the new Mission Impossible movie, right? But she really wanted to see the Blackkklansman. And she said she wanted to see it. First, she said she wanted to see it just to be rebellious. But she was kind of worried because during the same time was the white nationalist protest rally in Washington, D.C., where we live. Well, where she lives, our hometown. So at first she was worried about going to the movies because, she was like, what if one of those people come in the movie theater, acting crazy because this movie was strategically marketed around this whole rally thing. Because all you kept seeing on the TV was the white nationalist protests. You kept seeing commercials more than usual about the Blackkklansman. And it was also the 1 year anniversary of the Charleston, South Carolina protests where the white nationalists came through and a small riot broke out, right? They were gonna hold a 1 year anniversary white nationalist protest, anti-racism protest in Washington. Well, not in Washington D.C. They're gonna have it in Charleston, but they're gonna have another one in D.C. So all of this is happening in this one weekend. All this is going on at this one time, right? So my mother was like, I want to see the Blackkklansman. She said, I would see, I want to see it just to be rebellious. Like she said, she wanted to see the Blackkklansman just to be rebellious. Like that's what she wanted. Like she did it with the intent of pissing some people off. That's my mother. And I'm that same way. I can't even front. I'm the same way. So I said, you know what? At first we were actually going to, we were going to postpone it to the next day. He was like, you know what? Nah. Let's go. So I think the rally was Sunday, and we went to the movies on Saturday. So we did all that and saw the movie. Like I said, it was a very powerful movie. It was all I kept hearing in the movie theater was, yeah, See, that's because, there was a lot of messages in that movie. There were a lot of things said and shown in that movie that, to the untrained eye, they may not have understood. But to those who were in the know, who understood very well the significance of what they were seeing and what was said and what was shown. So it was a very, very powerful image, I thought. My mother and I came out the movie theater. We talked about it some more after the movies. We talked about it with other members of our family and stuff. And I recommend seeing it. Like that, and of course, Spike Lee has his own flair with making movies. You know how he does when he makes movies. The different shots and the subject matter, the way he films. It's Spike Lee, as you know him. If you know Spike Lee's work, when you see the movie, you're like, okay, this is a Spike Lee movie. This is Spike Lee all over, up and through this movie, right? The dialogue was Spike Lee-esque. The scenes were Spike Lee-esque. The messages, the overt and covert messages, were Spike Lee-esque. It wasn't just like there was some hidden messages in there that if you really understood, you picked up on it. Like I said, some things would have went over some people's head to the untrained eye, but to the people who understood, you knew. So you knew what was up. You knew what was going on, and you were hip from beginning to end. You like, okay, I dig it. I understand. Plus, there was some comedy. There was some funny moments in there. There was some comedy in there, like a Spike Lee joint. Some comedy, some political satire, some overt, covert messaging. It was a Spike Lee. It was one of them. Blackkklansman was one of those movies that you could put in the archives of those top Spike Lee movies. Do the Right Thing, X, Mo Better Blues, She Gotta Have It. Those movies, like those famous Spike Lee movies, I think you could put Blackkklansman up there with those movies. Now, give it time. It takes time. You don't want to say it's a classic right out the gate. It just came out. Give it some time. However, this movie will be relevant far beyond 2018, in my opinion. The messaging will still resonate in the future as it does now, because the same things that they talked about in the 70s, because this took place in the 70s, right? I think this took place in the 70s. This took place in the 70s, and the same things that they were talking about back then, 40 years ago, they are talking about and saying verbatim in 2018. So, say the more things change, the more things stay the same. Yeah, that's what's going on a lot. The more things change, the more things stay the same. So, if this movie it goes back to 40 years ago and it's still relevant in 2018, it's safe to say that this movie is going to probably be relevant still 40 years from now. So it's a very powerful movie. I enjoyed it. I recommend go see it. I think it's an awesome movie, and if I could, I'll go see it again, for real, because there's some things that you may peep in the beginning, and there's some things you may have to watch it over to catch again. Like a lot of Spike Lee movies, you don't just catch everything all at once. So some things you might have to go over again, check out, and go check it out. All right. So thank you all. Thank you for listening to my part 2 of my trip to DC. Stay tuned for part 3. All right. Catch you all later. Peace.